And today I bring you another 2021 NFL mock draft, but it's my own, and I'm going to include trades with it today. There's going to be 3 big trades in this mock draft, and they might all be trade up for quarterback. What can I say? It's kind of the most valuable position. But there's going to be many divisive picks here. So let me know in the comment section below. It really helps the video out anyway. And go ahead, leave it a thumbs up. And let's get that good old-fashioned discourse going on in the comment section. What can I say, dude? I just love talking football. I just love it. But what's crack-lacking? It's your boy Barushmo. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Screw it. Even if you don't and you just want to appreciate my work, you're gonna disagree with me, man. We all got good takes and bad takes, man. I always say this. We all got good takes and bad takes. Not gonna agree with me all the time. It's all right. You're only human. But also, I'm on the Flick Sports app, so if you want to check that out, it's basically a football Discord. I'm at the Never Too Early draft group. I'll have my rankings videos out this weekend, or this week. One might already be out. I'm gonna have cornerbacks and quarterbacks, so that ought to be a blast. But let's go ahead. Let's do the diggity gosh darn thing. And here we are. I haven't done the trades yet, so you ain't gotta worry about. And when I get to the trades, like, don't mind too much of the value of the trade. I'm really just kind of giving you like kind of the possibilities of what teams may try to trade up. I haven't like gone and look at like trade calculators and charts and whatnot, so I'm just gonna kind of force trades through. But let's go ahead, let's get in. No trade at number 1. It's Trevor Lawrence. That's an easy one. And then the Jags, yes, Gardner Minshew. I'm sorry, Uncle Rico. I love you. I hope you get a chance somewhere else. But they're gonna go Justin Fields. I think there is a good case to make Zach Wilson the pick here. And I think it makes sense because I think those prospects are a lot closer now than what people think. So it'll be interesting coming to the draft. But for the most part, those 3 quarterbacks, it's gonna be interesting to see what goes down on our way up to the draft. But Bengals, they're gonna choose to protect Joe Burrow with Penei Sewell. Now, this is where my first trade happens, because all you Dak fans out there, all you Cowboy fans that hate me picking Zach Wilson here, well, guess what? I'm going to give you your wish, because I don't think there's a good pick here. You'd be like, go cornerback. And I was like, honestly, I don't think Farley or Surtain are worth the 4th overall pick. I think there's better value if you really want to sign Dak and tie up your cap for years to come, because I mean he's asking for like 40 million, then okay, might as well trade back and try to get more picks. So we can at least get more young talent on that squad. So we're gonna trade here. And who we trade with well, let me switch to the Cowboys. We're gonna be trading with, I think, one of the most obvious teams here to trade up for this position would be the Chicago Bears. I mean, I know they're gonna want to jump the Carolina Panthers, who currently sit at 6. So yeah, just kind of makes sense. Let's see if this one goes through. I'll just add another pick. Oh, it went through. I imagine it's gonna be a lot more expensive to trade up to that 4th overall pick. So there might need to be like maybe throwing a second and a 4th, and maybe the Cowboys giving some contribution back as well. But the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, man, they're messing up by winning. They're messing up by trying to win games. Mitch Trubisky's not the answer, so they're going with Zach Wilson here. Where they got Zach Wilson? Right here. So they get their quarterback of the future. This is kind of a tough pick for the Chargers, because honestly, I think Kwity Paye or Gregory Russo, whatever you want to, whoever is really your flavor there, would be kind of the pick if they can't trade out of it. Because I mean, I kind of want to get a tackle here, but straight up, it's just for Cosme or Darisaw, like, you could honestly trade back, get more picks in the process, find those quarterback needy teams because quarterbacks get overdrafted. That's just how the draft is because it's the most valuable position on the field. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm trying to trade back here. So we're going to trade back with our former, well, I guess we're the former California partner, the Niners. Niners going to trade up for this pick. I'm just going to send that through. And I imagine this one also will cost a bit more. But they're going to go with Trey Lance. I think Kyle Shanahan really wants a mobile quarterback. And Trey Lance, and you could say, well, he hadn't faced elite competition, because a lot of people would be like, I know people will be like, well, he didn't look great as far as a passer in that Central Arkansas game. But also keep in mind the year before he threw for 29 touchdowns and I think 0 interceptions, maybe 1. So he dominated. He did what he had to do against lesser competition. He dominated it the year before. So I don't think he's all the way there yet as a passer, but that's not kind of what the offense does for Kyle Shanahan. It doesn't ask much from its quarterback, but you give them a quarterback with some wheels, it becomes very dangerous. And then here for the Panthers, we're just going to stay put. We're a little sad about Zach Wilson, but I think they're going to go ahead and snag Micah Parsons. They're going to continue to address the defense. So they got Chin up around there. They got Shaq Thompson, who kind of a bit in a down year, but like overall, he is a very solid player. But they get Parsons, who he's just a very good mix like of that. He gives you a sick pass rush. He's very physical. He can stop the run, and he's not bad in coverage. So they go ahead, they grab that, and then Chin's more of a utility player anyway. You could throw him in the slot, play him at safety. So just grabbing more parts, more young parts, specifically to that defense, and then they could dress offense from here on out. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons, and okay, you could say corner, the secondary is not entirely great, but I think a lot of their, I mean, it's not like they got great talent at the corner position, but I think right now, a lot of their concern and where the value is at right now is they don't have pass rush. Unless it's Brady Jarrett, they're not getting to the quarterback. Dante Fowler, he's just not that guy. He's typically, he doesn't force pressures. He's a late to the party and fills up the sack stat. That's about it. So we're going to grab Kwity Paye because I love the athletic upside, especially at 270. He proved this year that he proved that he developed more technique, more pass rush moves specifically. So I'm really high on Paye at this point. On to the Miami Dolphins. And I really disagree with a lot of people that say, all right, let's just get into it, that Jamar Chase isn't a good fit for the Dolphins. Oh, they need speed. Jamar Chase could be a sub 4.5 guy. Then this is the thing with it. Okay, if you were the Dolphins, you were the GM, you were the coach, you're going to pass up on Julio Jones? Well, he's not fast enough. You're not. You're not. Like, I think people forget, since he decided to opt out, how good of a prospect Jamar Chase really is. And literally his only knock, I think he's kind of slow. No, he's not. Go back and watch the film. The guy plays fast. So we're gonna stick with Jamar Chase there. I like that pick. I know Waddle and Smith are very sexy picks, but Chase is way more complete than either of those guys. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's a bit tough because I liked Mock and linebacker here. A lot of people also like throwing receiver here, which I think they got good talent at receiver right now, good young talent, and if they really want to address it, you could do it later on in a very deep wide receiver class. So I think they really should probably address the defense because Jalen Hurts, honestly, the offense looked way more alive with Hurts at quarterback. All right, but we're gonna go in the secondary. We're gonna take Caleb Farley. Darius Slay, he's He's kind of had an up and down year, but I think adding parts around him in that secondary would be necessary. And dude, Farley, he's got the elite tools. He's after the combine, people are going to be like, yes, he deserves to be a top 10 pick, and he's going to get drafted like he was CJ Henderson. Just how it is. This pick is a bit interesting. Like, you could go a lot of different ways for the New York Giants. I thought about Rousseau. I thought about Surtain. I thought about Smith and Waddle. I thought about even Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And I mean, trading down always an option. But I like the idea of snagging Kyle Pitts here, because he's a guy that doesn't have to just be lined up at tight end. He could line up on the outside. He could line up in the slot. He gives them a physical presence that they don't really have as far as their receivers. And even you could keep him and Evan Ingram on the field at the same time. And I know a lot of Giants fans are kind of unsatisfied with Evan Ingram. I still think he's very solid. I know the drops kind of suck and they hurt, but Kyle Pitts, man, is amazing. He's gonna find his way in the top 10. I can't see him falling outside of it. So here we go to the Detroit Lions, another team. It's so hard to decide like what to do with them, because new GM, new coach, and we don't know who they are yet, you know? So like, I really don't know what they're going to be running defensive wise. They could go offer a new quarterback, but I mean, at this point, you might as well trade back. I mean, and trading back is a very real option, because what I think the Lions, they don't have many. They only have like what, 5 or 6 picks. Before compensatory picks are given away, so it's really tough. But a pick I've been mocking recently has been Devonte Smith, and this is, of course, if even like, I think you bring back Kenny Golladay, he's a phenomenal receiver, and then pairing him with Devonte Smith would be amazing. Even if you don't bring back Golladay, you should attack the receiver position, because basically all their receivers, I mean, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, all free agents. So we're going there. Now we are back to the Los Angeles Chargers pick, and I already kind of said this, that I wanted to get a tackle here. Cosme, he's good for their blocking scheme. I think he's a perfect fit. We trade back, we get the guy we wanted. We picked up some picks. That's the beauty of trading back, picking up additional picks and still getting your guy. And then Denver, another guy outside of maybe a quarterback that I really enjoy mocking here is Patrick Surtain, the second. I think he really fits their defensive scheme. And I mean, really the only solid corner they currently have on the roster, or at least the one that's having a good year, is Bryce Callahan, but he's more of a slot guy, being forced to play on the outside occasionally. AJ Boye, he's a free agent, I think, at the end of the year. And then, I mean, OJ Mudia, he's fine, but it's not going to stop me from grabbing Surtain. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings, a lot of different areas. Some people want quarterback, and it's like, dude, y'all got at least one more year, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, you can grab your guy, but nah, I would try to add pieces to try to maybe reopen that Super Bowl window, because I think this team's a lot better than with how they played this year. I think corner could be enticing, like a JC Horn, but I mean, they just went pretty corner heavy this past season. And Cameron Dancer, honestly, he's been looking good. I think he's going to be solid for that secondary. I mean, safety, Harrison Smith's up there in years. Anthony Harris is coming off the franchise tag. So Trevon Moehrig, honestly, not bad. I think he could sneak his way into the top 15, top 20. He's going to probably be the most sought out safety. But I went with getting help on the offensive line, more specifically at the guard position. And I went with Elijah Vera Tucker. I think it was Snorkel, who's a part of the bro community, the bro army, the bro nation, whatever you want to call it, who said he would be a good fit for this offensive line. I was kind of feeling maybe Wyatt Davis be a better fit, but I think Vera Tucker currently, he has leaped Wyatt Davis as far as rankings. I mean, the dude, looking more at it, I think he would be a good fit for the offensive line. I mean, he has experience at tackle. He's been playing left tackle this year. Riley Reef, he's probably gone after the season. And I mean, now you have Barrett Tucker, a guy who could maybe kick out to tackle, or you could do that with Ezra Cleveland. So just grabbing more options. And it may feel a little early for him and maybe a guy you could trade down for, but the way he's been playing, you know, he might be one of the safer picks anyway. New England Patriots, I really wanted to trade down here because, I mean, what do you do? Like, I was like, maybe we just trade down and hope to get a quarterback, but I don't know. I was like looking and there was like really nobody I would think would be willing to trade up hard, like trade up big time right now here. So like, I mean, there's great talent on the board right now in terms of weapons, and that's something they're missing. They're missing guys that can really produce after the catch. I think Jalen Waddle kind of feels like he's fallen, but I mean, we saw that with the receivers in the 2020 class. So we're just going Jalen Waddle. We're getting Jared Stidham or Cam Newton, whoever's back there at quarterback, more weapons because they need more weapons. Dallas Cowboys, y'all probably like that trade down, but now y'all are going to hate this pick. You're going to be like corner, corner, corner. And I simply cannot pass Gregory Rousseau here. He ends up being my pick. I think he does. He's a lot of people want to make the comp to him being like Calais Campbell. I think they're off by 20 to 30 pounds. But I get that his style of play could be similar. I think he is more. He can be more similar to like Mario Williams if he achieves his potential. But this is a guy that we saw he's kicked inside before if need be, and granted, you know, might not be the best position for him early on, but he has the ability to do that. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. You'd be like, well, I mean, Aldon Smith has been amazing. Randy Gregory. I think at least Gregory, I think, is a free agent after the season. And they're more used as stand-up, like hybrid linebackers, kind of, sort of. So getting a guy that could put his hand in the dirt. I mean, it's just great value, man. I can't pass on the value. The cornerback class is extremely deep this year, so it is what it is. Ravens, I was kind of banking on that. I was kind of banking on Rousseau being here for that 17th pick. I thought about maybe Trevon Moehrig here, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but I think there's better value in trading down. And I think there's one team that would want to jump I think there's a couple of teams that would want to jump the Washington football team and try to snatch a quarterback a little earlier than they probably should. So we're going to make that trade right now. There was two teams that I was like, man, who would really do this? They're actually, I was considering the Saints because they've moved up that much in the past and given away a lot for, if you don't remember, was it Marcus Davenport? They given away 2 first-rounders. It was kind of insane. But I think they're kind of content with Tyson Hill, at least for now. And I mean, they got Drew Brees on 1 more year, so it'll be interesting. I don't think they have to make a move at quarterback right now. So, but I think the Steelers should, dude. Big Ben, man. It just doesn't look like he has the juice. Granted, at his age, I don't blame him. But it doesn't look like he has the juice. I don't want to say anymore, but that's what happens in years. So even if Big Ben, he got a few more years, go ahead, grab your quarterback of the future here in Kyle Trask. So we go ahead, we do that. We grab Kyle Trask for the Steelers. Don't have to start him right away because, I mean, he's a guy that, honestly, he could be a plug and play, but I think he would benefit from maybe sitting at least a year. And then we have the Baltimore Ravens. Honestly, I could see them making a move up for a Kyle Pitts. I would love Kyle Pitts for the Ravens. They kind of need, I think that's what Lamar Jackson needs, dude. Because he loves throwing to those big body tight ends, dude. Whether it was Nick Boyle, Mark Andrews. I mean, and you get Kyle Pitts, a guy that you can move to the slot, play on the outside, like a guy that gives you so much versatility. And he's a solid pass blocker, and the way their scheme functions, he could be a functional run blocker, but he doesn't make it here. But I think a guy who's really good for their scheme, I don't want to say I'm reaching here, because I still think he's a first rounder, is Joseph Osai. I got a couple of guys from this edge rusher class ahead of him, but I don't think any of them bring the potential back, well, they don't bring the experience of dropping back into coverage like Osai does, but he's at his best when he's rushing the passer. I think this allows them to move on from a Matthew Judon. And I mean, if they really want to sign, I feel like if they're going to keep one of their edges, it's going to be Yannick. So they grab Osai. The Washington football team, they miss out on a quarterback. You could make a case for Mack Jones, but I feel like if you're Washington, you don't have to pull the trigger on that right now. Like you could check out free agency. I mean, Alex Smith, yeah, he's been banged up, but I think you're fine. I don't think you're going to be competitive in this division regardless, in my opinion. So why not add playmakers for the eventual franchise quarterback, which I think they'll probably snag unless they make a big trade up in 2021. I think that, or 2022, there'll be better quarterback prospects available for them wherever they're picking. So we're going to go with the receiver. We're going to get Rashad Bateman. So you're going to have two of the scariest route runners for Washington, man. I'm just saying, dude. Terry McLaurin, Rashad Bateman, that's terrifying. And then you got your big vertical threat. If he ends up panning out, Antonio Gandy Golden. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And then we have the Arizona Cardinals. They kind of luck out. Because, honestly, I was like, oh, man, if they're lucky, they get Tyson Campbell with this pick. I think he's a good fit for their defense. But J.C. Horner ends up being here. I think he's a top 15, top 20 type of corner currently. The thing with him is that it's kind of the same thing with Jeffrey Okudah. Was basically, I wanted to see that, like, going into Jeffrey, I'm going to call him that because I've always butchered his last name. What I needed to see from his last season in college, I needed to see him become a better playmaker, better just making plays on the ball. And he did that through the whole season. The thing with J.C. Horn, he did that for like the last 2 to 3 games. We know he's got great athleticism, but I don't think he nearly showed enough to say he's a guaranteed like mid to early first rounder. I think he's more of a late first round guy. So, but we get him here. Solid pickup. The Miami Dolphins. It was hard not going with Christian Darrisaw. I really like him as a prospect. But the guy I was kind of thinking maybe we could trade back here because I really like Zaven Collins, the Tulsa linebacker, for this pick because I think he's a really good scheme fit. But I'm not going to pass on Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think he brings so much more to the table in terms of his ability as an athlete, his ability in coverage. The dude just plays with ridiculous speed. I think he's a steal at this pick for the Dolphins. The Dolphins make out with a very impressive haul with their 2 picks. Now, here we are with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a little risque here. I'm gonna go Mack Jones. He's kind of Tom Brady-esque, and by Tom Brady-esque, I mean the Tom Brady we see now. Because Mack Jones, the biggest thing why I don't have him as a first rounder, or at least graded as a first rounder, is because he lacks arm strength. You're like, he's just fine throwing the deep ball. Yes, but he ain't throwing lasers 40 to 50 yards down the field. He's not. Those balls, they stay in air. Sometimes it's honestly, like, more times than not, it's Smith running under the ball. Probably could even call it a fair catch. Not that bad. But I mean, again, you look at that, that's a little criticism. Yes, but I think it's enough to warrant not picking him early, even in the middle of the first round. And we saw even in the Arkansas game, dude, when he's forced to get outside of structure, because it's not like he's that mobile, but when he's forced to get outside of structure, then things kind of fall apart for him. Luckily, Alabama is just such a juggernaut of a team. It doesn't really matter. But I think this is a guy that does need a little bit of work. And I think under Tom Brady, you might get that. And I think this is a good pick. You just throw him under Tom Brady for a year. Just let him learn. Let him soak up that knowledge, and then you got your quarterback of the future. I'm not saying he's a bad prospect, because he's not. I get these Gardner Minshew vibes and feels from him, and I've already been hurt by that. Going to the Indianapolis Colts. I like Tyson Campbell here, but I'm just going to go with Anthony Costanzo's replacement and Darrisaw. You're getting incredible value. I think Darrisaw is going to be, when it's all said and done, a top 15 player. So good on y'all. The Browns, they need help at the linebacker position. And Nick Bolton, I think, is the guy for the job. I think he will definitely, he's going to be another guy the NFL really likes. He is great at just closing gaps, stopping the run, but even better, he's one of the best coverage linebackers in this draft. I love it. I'm loving it. And I would have loved to make the Jets pick here, Travis Etienne. But this is the thing. I think if you are going to pick running back in the first round, then you better have the luxury to pick running back. The Jets don't have that luxury. They have so many holes they need to fill on that roster. They need to take care of it here. So we could talk about receiver. I thought, Marshall, Olave, Moore, and even St. Brown were kind of interesting thoughts here. But I was like, the defense really needs addressed. Aljawari, Owe were interesting. I didn't think Basham, and this is the thing, man. I don't know what they're like. Are they going to stay in a 3-4, 4-3? Because I think Basham really, he's going to be a guy that sticks his hand in the dirt. And I think they're kind of fine with their D-line. They just need real pass rush. Not saying he can't do it, but if they're going to be in that 3-4, I don't think they need a guy that is gonna like hang over or to the interior of the tackle. So you'd be like, okay, Aljawari. But I was like, you know what? Their corners suck. Honestly, I think their best corner this season has been Brian Poole, but he got hurt. Is undrafted free agent out of Utah. Was it Jelvin Gildry? I know he ran like a 4.29 at the combine, but he's been very solid in the slot. But they need help on the outside. It's been a revolving door at outside corner. So I'm gonna go with Tyson Hill, man. Tyson Campbell. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's got great. I think he's great as an athlete. I think he could stand to put on 10 pounds of muscle because he is preferably a press corner. But I think he has definitely, like, he's shown a lot this season. And I mean, he's been having, this is a guy that's, keep in mind, he's been facing SEC wide receivers. The guy's been facing essentially the best of the best in college football. And he's been solid, especially this season. So, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have to talk up Campbell's potential, but I get some people aren't fond of him. And then Jacksonville Jaguars, I really wanted to go Christian Barmore here. Christian Barmore. But I really think they need to address the secondary. I mean, you could also make a case for Alex Leatherwood here, but I think they're fine if they end up bringing Cam Robinson back. And even then, I think there's a lot of good tackles in this class with Slater, Etchenberg. I mean, even Mayfield, if you're not grabbing him in the first. But like Jenkins, there's some talent at the tackle position. So instead, I decided to go, we could go corner, but I ended up going with safety because Trevon Moehrig, I think the guy is just special, like physically and athletically, it's there. And this season, it really looked like it started clicking upstairs for him. He was never, I wouldn't say he was a slow processor, but he was meeting plays like right when the ball got there. Now he's there before the ball's even there, dude. He's making plays on the ball. He's become quite the playmaker, and I think he's kind of elevated himself to the best safety in this class. Tennessee Titans. This was an interesting pick for me. because I don't think a lot of people are gonna get this. I'm going Zaven Collins. I think this guy's totally a Mike Vrabel guy. Jayon Brown is gonna be a free agent, literally their best pass coverage linebacker. Rashad Evans, I don't think he's anything special. He's an okay run stuffer, but that's about it. He's terrible in coverage. I think if the Titans, they haven't, like, you could say the secondary needs help, but keep in mind, Adoree Jackson, he hasn't even played this season. Malcolm Butler's been okay. He's been solid enough, you know. They're letting Amani Hooker get more snaps, which I don't know why they haven't done that already, and he's been okay in that. Keep in mind they drafted Christian Fulton in the 3rd round a year, just in the last draft. They also brought in Desmond Keene, who I can't imagine trading for and not re-signing, so I imagine they'll re-sign him. So I'm gonna go with Collins, man. The guy brings potential pass rush. This guy has been a monster in the pass rush, but he's been solid in coverage as well, and he's doing this at 260. So I like it. I like it a lot. Tennessee Titans, Buffalo Bills. A lot of Buffalo Bills fans want to go edge, and I can see that, you know, like, yeah. And I mean, there's solid edge talent here, but I think they really need to address the corner position, because outside of Tre'Davious White, I mean, Taron Johnson, he has not been good this year, or at least he's been struggling. And what I mean, even Levi Wallace has kind of had his struggles this year, but I think just the cornerback position is the most important, in my opinion, the most important position on defense. We're in a pass-happy NFL, so it really pays off to have a lot of good corners. So I'm going to go with Darion Kendrick, who I think is a really good scheme fit for the Buffalo Bills. Did I not click it? There we go. For the Buffalo Bills, and he's really taken a step up in terms of his discipline at the corner position, because they play a lot of zone there at Clemson, and being disciplined and sticking to his zone and then anticipating the pass. The guy has just been shut down. And I think I really want to see this Notre Dame game, because he was hurt like when Clemson and Notre Dame played each other earlier this year. So I'm very interested in that matchup. I can't wait. On to the Green Bay Packers, and this is the thing. I know that they struggle to stop the run, but you could get good run stoppers on the D-line later in the draft. I think linebacker would be a good pick here, but simply the value is not there. I don't think there's a first-round worthy linebacker left on the board here. We could talk about corner, and I mean, I think Asante Samuel Jr., Sean Wade could be guys you snag here, but maybe not. So I'll look to the offense. I know you're like, oh, look at what Aaron Rodgers is doing with the receivers he's got right now. He's doing just fine. Well, how was he doing last year? Keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers this year, this is the best he's been since 2015. And guess what? You have Jordan Love, who I'm not saying he's going to be your quarterback after this season. Aaron Rodgers might have another year or two, but you need more than Devonte at that position. So I was considering either Rondale Moore, but I ended up going with, I wanted someone with a little more size, a little more, that provided some, more importantly, size and vertical ability, but also a very fluent route runner. And I went with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Gets to play with, I think it's his cousin on the team. I'm not positive, cousin or brother. But this guy is very good. He's been playing a bit more on the outside, which is great to see. Unfortunately, it's only been like, what, 5 games that we've gotten to see it. But I think he's really going to fly under the radar. He's a very, very good prospect. And I mean, in 2019, he was actually one of the most deadly downfield receivers in all of college football. Oakland Raiders, they traded back For me, this is kind of a no-brainer. They need edge help, I think, more than anything else on the team. They just simply don't get pressure. You'd be like, oh, Cleveland Farrell's been a little better the past couple of weeks, but I mean, he ain't gonna cut it. I'm not saying I think he'd still be good in a rotation, but also he does some good work when they kick him on the inside. Tell me if you think he kind of feels like Solomon Thomas. I'm just gonna put that out there. I feel if you remember the 49ers drafting Solomon Thomas 3rd overall, saying Cleveland Farrell, man, maybe. So I went with actually Jason Owe just because he's got better size than Ojawari, and he has been solid this year. The sacks not necessarily there this season, but the pressures are, and I think he could definitely sneak into the first round. And then we have the New Orleans Saints. They miss out on a quarterback. Yeah, maybe, not really, but I just think Rondale Moore is just a weapon Sean Payton would just be excited to have. Just be flabbergasted. Jaw on the floor. I get to mess around with this. Oh, gosh, this is going to be fun. Shoot, man. And if you want, man, you can run a ton of reverses. Get real creative with the playbook with this. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of... Yeah, honestly, if you're the Chiefs, you could really do whatever the heck you want. Alex Leatherwood wouldn't be a bad pick here. Christian Barmore. But I went with Carlos Basham Jr. He is a bit reminiscent of Frank Clark, but I think they need to keep adding, because I think they've finally gotten their secondary to where it's like, these guys are solid. We just need to take some pressure on them by putting pressure on the passer. And it just can't be the Chris Jones show every week. So they bring a guy like Carlos Basham to help. But that is the mock draft. I think it was only 3 trades we had. But yeah, we had the Niners, the Bears trading up. We'll see how Niner fans feel about Trey Lance. But I honestly was pretty darn happy with how this draft went. Maybe Minnesota reached a bit for Elijah Vera Tucker, but like I said, he's a very safe prospect. And even if they trade down a little bit, I mean, that's fine. Steelers trading up for Kyle Trask. Cowboys fans, I don't know how they'll feel about Gregory, so we'll see. But I mean, for the most part, I think did a good job. Tampa Bay taking Mack Jones. While I say hey, he's a second rounder, quarterback is such a valuable position. Like, if you honestly think the guy can make it, like, I mean, it's technically what the Giants did with Daniel Jones. You know, they were like, he's got the prototypical size and arm, man, and a little athletic ability. Yeah, let's take him with a top 10 pick. So, I mean, the Tampa Bay, I mean, you're using a late first round on it. So, it's not terrible, and he gets to learn behind Peyton Manning. Did I say Peyton Manning? Tom Brady. There we go. But yeah, man, I liked this draft, and hopefully you did too. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. I didn't switch over. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. Leave a comment. Let me know how you think I did, where I could have done better. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.